Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my Florida garden. I hope you're all doing great, and I hope you're ready to hang out with me today because as a follow-up to last week's front garden tour video, I figured I'd give you a tour of my backyard garden. So let's get into it. So kicking things off in my native wildflower garden, you can see I've got a ton of Florida native plants tucked into this space. They've all woken up for spring, they're all budded up, and some of them have even started blooming. You can see I've got a black-eyed Susan plant here on the left side that just started flowering. These plants are really easy to grow and really low maintenance here in Florida. And then you can also see I've got some pretty periwinkle blue flowers here on my wild petunia plant. I just love the color they add to this space. I'm also loving the bright yellow blooms on this lanceleaf coreopsis plant. And then looking at this Stokes aster next, you can see it's pushing a few flower buds. The Stokes aster is one of my favorite Florida native wildflowers. Its blooms are incredible, they're really high impact, and I really love their soft lavender blue color in this garden bed. And then looking toward the back of this bed, you can see the milkweed plants that we transplanted a few weeks back have rooted in. You can see they've pushed some new growth, and it even looks like this one here is showing signs that a baby monarch caterpillar has been munching on its leaves. Look at all those little bitty baby bite marks. Looking over here by the fence next, you can see my passion flower vine. So this is actually a new vine. I recently swapped out the original one I planted with this one. The original passion flower plant was marked as a purple variety, but when it finally bloomed, it was fire engine red, which wasn't the vibe I was going for in this space. The garden center I bought it from told me I could dig it up and exchange it, so I cut it off the picket fence and exchanged it for this white and purple one. And although this isn't a native variety, it's still a Florida-friendly plant. It thrives in our tropical climate, and best of all, this is an edible variety that produces really sweet fruit. You can actually see my plant has a passion fruit forming on it already. Moving on to my in-ground vegetable garden area, you can see this space is still looking beautiful. You can see my 4 tomato plants have gotten so big. I recently had to stake them to give them a little extra support because they were flopping out of the tops of their tomato cages. These plants have also been so productive. Here's a big bowl full of tomatoes I harvested this morning, and I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but these plants are loaded with fruit. Moving on to my carrot bed, you can see just how much growth they've put on, and if you look down at the soil level, you can see some beautiful carrots are forming up. I'm really hoping to have a good harvest here in the next few weeks. And then looking at my onion beds, you can see these plants have put on some size. I can tell some of them are starting to form bulbs. I've had some issues with raccoons digging up my onions this spring, so I don't know how big these onions will actually get since they've been disturbed a few times, but I'm still hopeful that I'll get a few onions this season. Looking at my patio plants next, I wanted to update you on my plumeria trees that we just repotted. You can see they really seem to like their new larger containers. They've leafed out quite a bit more and they're continuing to push their bloom stalks. If you remember from the repotting video, I've got 3 different varieties here, and I can't wait for them to fully leaf out and flower. Looking between my lounge chairs, you can see my container plants are looking lush. These containers were all planted up last summer. You can see the paintus flowers, juncus plants, and wire vines all overwintered really well. My plan is to transplant most of these plants out into my back landscape so I can replant these containers with some new seasonal flowers. And then really quick, before we move on to my raised garden bed area, I wanted to give you an update on my 18-month-old broccoli plant. It looks awful at the moment. It's been dealing with an on-again, off-again aphid problem, and I sprayed it with neem oil a few mornings ago, but it didn't have enough time to dry before the sun came out. So you can see some of the leaves are fried. I really should have moved it to the shade to protect it, but I didn't, so this is the end result. You can see it is producing some broccoli heads, but I think I'm just going to let it go to seed so I can save the seeds for next year. So looking to the left of my patio, you can see my newly installed raised garden bed area is looking great. My pepper and broccoli plants have put on so much size. You can see this red Cajun bell is loaded with peppers. It also looks like I've got my first jalapeno forming here. And then I can also see what looks like a banana pepper forming on this plant, which is kind of funny because it was marked as a yellow bell. In any case, I love banana peppers, so I'm good with it. Looking at my Alaska variegated nasturtium plant next, you can see it's just starting to trail over the side of my raised bed. I just love its beautiful green and white leaves. And then across the way, I've got a pink terrania plant that's all budded up. This plant, along with all the other Terranias in my back garden, self-seeded in the old lawn that was in this space, and I was able to save all of them during the raised bed renovation project to add throughout my back landscape. Moving on to this middle bed now, you can see how great my broccoli plants are looking. You'll remember the two closest to the walkway here had some transplant shock from when we planted them in, but you can see they've recovered really well. You can also see my chive plant in the center here has gone vertical. This one was also really wilted from transplant shock from when we initially planted it in, but you can see it's looking really good now. Looking at my pea plants over here on the side of the bed, you can see they're doing great. I went ahead and sowed a few more sugar pod peas around this trellis after initially planting these raised beds. If you remember, the larger pea plant over on the right randomly germinated with my variegated nasturtiums, and I'm not sure what variety it is, but I'm hoping for a small harvest before the heat of the summer kicks in. Looking at this circular bed, you can see it's also looking great. I've got it planted up with another beautiful broccoli plant, as well as some more pink terranias, some yellow buzz buttons, and another variegated nasturtium plant. And then really quick, I wanted to point out my tall red Hawaiian tea plants behind my raised beds. They do a really good job at casting some afternoon shade on my broccoli and pea plants. My hope is that this afternoon sun protection will help those plants last a little bit longer into the warmer summer months. Looking across the walkway now, you can see my big, beautiful dwarf Cavendish banana trees are looking so good, and they've put on a ton of new growth now that the weather has started to warm up. Looking in front of my banana trees, you can see my bigger bed of onions. This onion bed has been struggling with raccoons too. They've dug them up a few times, and I think it stunted their growth. I've also got a feral cat that hangs out back here at night. I've seen her sleeping in this onion bed, crushing the ones closer to the house. But with that said, there's still a few of them that are forming onion bulbs. Also, really quick, you can see there's some more pink Terrania plants that self-seeded in this space. I think I'm going to leave these ones here so that they can add a little color to this sad onion bed. So coming over to my fire pit area, you can see I've got another circular raised bed that looks very similar to the other one. There's a broccoli in the center, along with a Terrania plant, some buzz button plants, and a chive plant planted toward the back. Looking over here next, you'll notice all the bricks in the planting areas between my Adirondack chairs. As some of you already know, these plants have also struggled with the digging raccoons, and they've been dug up over 24 times since they were planted in a few months ago. I've seriously tried everything to keep the raccoons out of here, including Repelzol and cayenne pepper, and it seems that these bricks are really the only thing that's working. They're too heavy for the raccoons to move, so they haven't been able to dig the flowers out of the ground. These plants are definitely still recovering, but at least they're flowering again. I'm hoping they rebound and fill in these areas quickly. So taking a quick look over here at my bleeding heart vines, you can see they've really responded well to the prune job we gave them back in March. They're not blooming quite yet, but you can see they've put on a ton of foliar growth. And then coming back behind my fire pit area into my shade garden area, you can see my mammoth elephant ear has made a full recovery from the wind damage from Hurricane Milton. You might remember it got blown over by the extreme winds during the hurricane, but you can see it's put on lots of new growth and it's standing tall again. Looking around my elephant ear, you can see my angel wing begonias are blooming. I just love their white and yellow flowers. These plants have been amazing back here. I found that they're very pest resistant. The slugs and snails really want nothing to do with them. They've been really low maintenance, and my plan is to add a bunch more of them in this space. Looking toward the front of my begonias, you can see my caladiums have started to emerge. I'm so excited to see them poking up through the soil. I really love the color and texture they add in this area. And then check this out, I just noticed one of my sun hostas has also started to emerge. I love its variegated leaf color. This variety actually does really well in Florida's hot, humid climate, but I will say the slugs absolutely love it. I'll definitely be shaking some Captain Jack's bug and slug killer granules around this plant later today. So stepping back for a wide shot again, you might be able to see some white and purple impatiens tucked in this area too. They overwintered back here and they're starting to put on a little size. I just love the subtle pops of purple and white that they're going to add to this space. Overall, this entire shade garden needs an overhaul. I haven't really had the time to address this area since the hurricane, and it desperately needs a makeover. But with that said, I'm happy to have some color back here, and I've been really impressed with how resilient these plants have been. So that's a wrap with my backyard garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already done so, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can hang out with me in future videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.